Hello, I am Sarah Benj, and today I'm going to do a World War I unboxing video sent here by a soldier from the Canadian Regiment, specifically. So first things up is that we have a canteen and a mess tin. Well, obviously the canteen was used for holding your water and other drinks. If you had any on you, sometimes bourbon. They drank a lot of whiskey a lot. I'm gonna just set this down here to talk. So the canteen, it opened like this.
Mess tin.
Mess tin canteen, whatever it is. The lid also doubled as a soup bowl, so you could hold it. And I always forget the purpose of the handle, but I guess it's to hold it over a fire. Set that down here. So you have your cup and spoon that you would eat with, and you would eat out of the tin, or something. This, I guess, if you're daring. And this is what you would hold your coffee in, and you would eat with your spoon mostly, because most of the time they would eat canned beef, ham. It's really greasy food, so they would often be constipated for 2 hours mostly. So drinks and whatnot would often also lead to dysentery because you're in a place where it was not the cleanliest of places to eat at or sit in general. So next I have this small box respirator, also known as the gas mask. I actually have 2 gas masks. Rest in peace this one specifically because it decided to fall into my lap and hopefully not break. And one of the lenses, and this one's broken. So this one's the late war version. It had a hose which you breathed from the respirator, which was full of oxygen, and well, no. It was actually the filter you breathed out of, and the chemicals would travel down through this hose and go into the respirator box thing, so you could breathe easier without dying from mustard gas or chlorine gas, and other gases that I forget all their names. I'm going to just set this down before this breaks, which would not be good, because it's an actual one. And this is the earlier version of the gas mask. You just put this cloth over your head. And I don't know if you can hear me at all because you would breathe through this thing, which I'm not, because I'm not going to try to suffocate myself by breathing through a little straw. So when people would bring these home, they would often just set them in their attics, and they would tell your grandkids about their stories of gas attacks and whatnot. So often their grandchildren would go up to these places or attics or barns or whatever and find this stuff, and they'd put on the gas mask without realizing that the small box respirator had been breached, and the filter wasn't actually working anymore because of decades and whatnot, and the chemicals actually leaving. So the chemicals would actually get into the respirator where you breathe from, and it'd go inside the kids when they put the gas mask on. So they'd start breathing, and then they'd just start suffocating because they didn't realize the gas is still in there, and they just basically just suffocate to death. Especially it was this version here. The other version they would have been fine, I guess, just dirty. But this one would mostly kill them. Going on from that, actually, speaking of trenches and fighting, and wars, we have the jerkin vest here, which was mostly used for when they had to go across no man's land under barbed wire, and this would actually help against when using a machine gun if you're running that. so you don't get smacked by the almost infinite, burning pile of shells and metal just slapping at your chest or lower body here, so you don't get burned or cut or bleed out to death. Or the occasional get gangrene. That was a very, very fun thing to deal with. So, and oh yeah, before I leave the jerkin vest to die, the jerkin vest, actually after the war, they'd use this for fishing trips or camping or hunting, because it also served as that. So we got your hoe here. It's used for to dig out trenches mostly, and you have to expand your lines and to keep the enemy confused, because the trenches were an endless maze of tunnels and big gaps everywhere, mostly to confuse the enemy and get them lost, and plus you need a lot of space for your armies to hide in. So this also doubled as a weapon. Basically, you take this off and you just club them over the head hard enough. But if you wanted to just keep it like this and probably just bash the skulls in, I shouldn't probably be mentioning that, but whatever, it's too late now. So you could just do that, I guess. Don't do this at home, you weirdos. We already mentioned this. Just moving stuff out of the way. So, during the time of the war, you're not going to find many barber shops to go at or clean yourself, mostly. So, what you do is you take your brush here, your sewing kit. I don't know what this, the dog tags, I guess. Just put that there. You would use this brush to clean yourself off or do your hair. Shaving kit, but most razors during the war were not the best at all, so most of the razors they didn't even use. Where I'm getting this information from actually was a movie that I saw explaining about the lives of these people in the trenches. This is your shoe polish, where you want to keep your boots nice and shiny. And yeah, this ain't opening. I'm not going to try filling it because I don't want to break it. Knowing me, I'd probably break it. And that would not be good. So if you're wondering about this rag here, it was actually kind of like a gas mask, as mentioned more about the lesson with gas masks. The earliest version of a gas mask, during you would hear the person, your leader, whatever it be. I'm just gonna say that because I don't know. You would hear them yell gas attack. So what you had to do is you had to pee in your rag and put that to your mouth, because the ammonia in your urine would actually counteract the chemicals in the gas. You do not want to be that one person who decided to go to the bathroom before a gas attack. But, well, I guess you wouldn't even know if the gas attack was about to happen anyway, so good luck, I guess, or beg for a friend to do that for you. You weirdos, kids. Bag for gas mask. Next here I have a Brody helmet, which you wore on your head to protect you from shrapnel, or sometimes the casual grazing bullet, as seen here in this little dent here. Either that was caused by shrapnel or a bullet. We don't know. And as you can see here, there's paintings on it. Most of these are to signify their or just boredom, because in the trenches you would get bored a lot, so they would have this kind of gave someone who was ever painting on it something to do. As you can see, is little devil here in a red church. It's a division patch. I don't know. I don't look into this much, as I should, badly. And So, next I have a bayonet here, and I do not want to grab that into there, because that would be very bad, and I'd slice my hand open. So, this was used for, bayonet charges, which would attach to the end of the end of the rifle, which my dad will then come in and then set this thing together, because I would probably slice my face open. Here. Wrong end! Yeah. So, as you can see here, they would use these for a bayonet charge, which I'm never going to demonstrate to you people. Because, next thing you know, we have a bunch of little kids going onto eBay trying to find bayonets and rifles. And play a little reenactment of their own. Like yard darts or some crap. A little dart camera for myself, I guess. But, during a bayonet charge, they would, before they leave the trench, they would fix their bayonet here. And then, how they left the trench was a big ladder, mostly, which they would all climb up out of. PTSD was also very common after these charges. A lot of death, because you're crossing no man's land and you don't know where you're going to go. You're running at, really, because it's going to be really bad. So I'm going to detach this so I can put this down safely. It works for me this time, apparently. I'm going to just set it back in the box, because I still don't trust myself with it, which would be a good thing. So, finally I have the uniforms. The one up here belongs to a VAD, which is a Volunteer Aid Detachment unit, specifically belonging to a nurse, which worked on the front lines of the trenches, after battles, to take wounded soldiers into ambulances, which women could drive, and, well, take care of them. Modern medicine was a thing, just not as well. And, the one over here is a Canadian soldier's uniform, and it belongs to a regiment known as the Royal Canadian Regiment. And that is my unboxing video.